Welcome, everybody, to this very, very, very special, and I mean special, regularly going to be special, the Hookup on Music, looking a little bit deeper on albums, new albums that will be released in the upcoming weeks. Sometimes we'll take a look back at older albums, which is what we're going to do today. We are going to get started on this brand new series with an album by Depeche Mode called Violator. Very, 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 very awesome album. Very, very much in depth in many different sounds. And I definitely think it's one that you're definitely going to want to take a listen to. Well, Violator is an amazing album that came out in March 19 of 1990. And it was definitely a great album by the band. I mean, that's no kidding. They had great albums before this, but this was another great album, and it peaked at number 7 on the Billboard 200, and we will get to that a little bit later. But it was produced by the band themselves and by Flood. Flood has produced many, many other artists, from the Smashing Pumpkins and the Killers all the way to New Order and U2. So he's been involved with lots of different productions. So this was a really, really good opportunity to again work with, well, the band and get them kind of, well, maybe at a new level. So what had happened is the band, which at this point is a 4-piece, Alan Wilder, who played keyboards, and Andrew Fletcher, who also played keyboards, um, Dave Gahan, who was the lead singer, Martin Gore, who played keyboards and guitar. Now, that wasn't limited to just those instruments. There were percussion. They did a lot of drums and different stuff like that. But really, 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 really awesome, awesome band. But by the time we get to Violator in 1990, which is, again, a really, really something that, well, I think it kind of brought the band to even bigger heights than they were before. Recently, I had watched the Special 101, which was a concert back that they had recorded, a concert special, a concert movie actually, back in the early it was released in the late 1980s. I've just been watching it in the early 2020s, but really worth checking out. And you get to see a little bit of the band right before they make this album, which is kind of a good indication to where they were, because they play at the Hollywood Bowl. It's a really rocking concert, lots of awesomeness. But let's get to this album. So again, they go ahead and they are chugging on all cylinders, and they are ready to rock. Okay, so World in My Eyes, which was that first clip that you heard, is kind of where they get to go, and they start to rock, and they start to a little bit roll, and the album gets going. And that song is very, very positive. It's a very positive song, which is really what they kind of wanted to do. Martin Gore stated that World in My Eyes is a very positive song. He says it's about love and pleasure and other positive things, which if you listen to that song, it definitely sticks out that way. As we sit there and go along, Sweetest Perfection is a great song. Great, awesome track. The next song is Personal Jesus, which I believe everybody is quite familiar with. A really good song by a really, really good band. And a lot of covers have done that. Everyone from Johnny Cash. I've even heard Sammy Hagar do a cover, which, that might be your thing. It might not be your thing. But there's one thing that I always listened to when I heard this song, and that was I kind of heard a little bit of the Predator here, and just this part. Maybe more Darth Vader now that I'm listening with you. Maybe Predator and Darth Vader mixed. But man, does that song really go, and it's really awesome. Now, if I can go back really quick, me personally, I got my start on this album by my dad, and he probably burned through 3 to 4 cassettes in the lifetime of when cassettes were around. and he played it all the way through. Lots and lots of good tracks. Going back, the next track up after Personal Jesus is Halo. Really, really good track. Really, really rocking song. For me, it's probably one of the more rocking tracks on the album. The whole album rocks in a way that Depeche Mode definitely brings it. But, definitely, it's what I would call a deeper track on the album, but definitely worth it because it wasn't released as a single. The singles from the band already that we've listened to were "World in My Eyes" was the last single, that was the 4th single. The 1st single was "Personal Jesus" that, we listened to. Really, 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 really good. Really good stuff. Um What I really like is a lot of the keyboards, a lot of the sounds is what I remember first listening to it, and described to me by my dad and, well, lots of other people since then. Lots of good sounds, lots of influence on a lot of different bands. Um, that was Waiting for the Night. Really, really good, awesome song right there. Um, Also is really awesome song is, the next one that is up, which is going to be, well, it's a classic here. It's called "Enjoy the Silence," which is probably one of the more well-known tracks on the album. But what I like is this little outro right here that they play, in between that song and the next song, which everyone knows Enjoy the Silence, but the next song is probably, I would say, my favorite song on the album, and that's Policy of the Truth. Really stretches out a good sound for the band. The way it ends is probably one of my favorites. Dave Gahan's voice on that song is really awesome. Does a really, really good job. Um, brings the band to, again, another level. I think it's bringing this band to which I think they still release good albums, but I think it's a really good peak for the band. I'm not saying that the band peaked here. I'm just saying it's a really good peak to be at for this band. And the next song too, which gives way for Martin Gore to sing, who is the main songwriter in the band, gives him a chance to kind of show his voice a little bit, which it holds up with Dave Gahan, his voice, which I think is really definitely what we're looking for with the band. Really good, really awesome. That's a little bit of a slower track, and the songs are a little the lyrics are a little bit risque on that one. Um, you know, there's a feeling of wrongness to the song is what Martin Gore said. Those are his words. So that song is a little bit more of a deeper, darker cut on the album, which gives way to, well, different things. Um, the last track on the album, Clean, which is really an awesome ending for an album. Until doing research for this, I did not know that this a big inspiration for this song, which I guess now that I hear it, I should have known right off the bat. And this is the closing track on the album. Is an influence for it was a Pink Floyd song, "One of These Days." You could hear it there a little bit in the rhythm. They're different, but you could hear it. Violator is an album loaded with synth pop, alternative rock. You can dance to it. Some people even call it dark and gothic. But what it definitely does is it's a good time. You definitely have a good time listening to Violator. I always have a blast listening to Violator. So definitely check out Violator. Again, I don't understand why it went only to number 7. I believe it is a number 1 album. It is a huge album. It's been on the 1001 albums you must hear before you pass away list. It's been on Rolling Stone's greatest albums lists. It has been on a lot of lists, and it's done a lot of inspiration for a lot of bands. The videos for this album are amazing. The videos for Personal Jesus and Policy of Truth and Enjoy the Silence, really awesome, really, really good. Really, really think it. Check out this album. It definitely gets the Hookup on Music stamp of approval. Thank you so much for listening to this little piece here. Next week, we will be reviewing the brand new Foo Fighters album. We will be dropping that next weekend. We hope to drop these on the weekend, these little clips. During the week, this next week, we've got, something really awesome and special planned. As we get a little closer, we will tell you a little bit more about it. Check out everything going on the station. Just got the word out that there is going to be an awesome heist episode by Yumper and Foe. So check that out tomorrow. I know we're all going to be watching on Tuesday. There's going to be a very awesome covers episode of the draft, the only draft in town. So pretty much get yourself a big glass of draft and check that out. But I am Tony, and I am also always here to talk music. So any type of music, we don't hold back. We go very deep here, deeper than sometimes what you see. So please, shout out, say hello, check us out here at the Hookup on Music, on the Twitter. Check us out at the Hookup on Music on the Instagram. My wife's doing a great job there. Check up us always out on the Penguin Sadistic YouTube channel. Check out the Sadistic Penguin, very awesome webpage. Check out our awesome gear that we got out there. And really soon, we will talk again. It's always a good time. And make sure you definitely, if at the very least, check out this Depeche Mode album. It's definitely worth your time.